And the more we try to give the psychopath, the narcissist, the benefit of the doubt, the worse they got, the more they abused us, the more they took advantage, the more they manipulated, the more they gaslit. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to PsychopathEXposure. My name is Kita. And I was thinking about how the metamorphoses we go through from a victim of narcissistic abuse to recovering survivor of narcissistic abuse. And then you come out on top. You come out on the other side. And it's like, oh. It's like, whoa. What? I can't believe I was in that place, and now my life is awesome, and I never thought I could get here, much less even imagine a life like this, a life without suffering. Because when you're in the brain fog, when you're in the storm, when you're dating a psychopath narcissist, it's like a Dementor from Harry Potter that's just sucking your soul out, and you feel like you're never going to be happy again. It's this knowing. It's a knowing that you forgot how to be happy, and you're never ever going to feel happiness again. And you look around you and nothing brings you joy. Not even grilled cheese brings you joy. Can you imagine? So to find yourself in a place where life became awesome, and you're just dominating shit, and you still go through challenges, you still go through ups and downs, you still suffer loss, you still suffer from anxiety from time to time, you still suffer disappointment, right? That's life. Everybody does. You wake up the next morning and it's a new day. It's time to grind. And the pendulum swings around and you string together some great days, right? But when you were in the trenches, when you were in the dark, dating a narcissist, dealing with that, trying to understand what you were going through, it just felt like it was never going to end. It felt like that's what has become of your life. And it's morbid, and it's dark, and it's gross, and it's hopeless. But then you do the work, and time goes by, and years go by, and you look back and you're like, whoa, I can't believe that used to be my life. That was another lifetime ago. That was another lifetime ago. And I reflect sometimes, and I'm like, that was another, oh my God, how much time has passed. And you start remembering all the stuff that you did, and memories start to stand out, and you're like, whoa, I did that after the narcissistic discard. I did all of that after. And then other challenges and other problems that you faced and have conquered, and you look back and you're like, I remember when I was struggling with that. That came way before, which means I had already healed from. Wow. My voice keeps getting higher and higher pitched as the further I explain this. So let me explain something else. I pulled up a couple of comments, and they're a little contradicting, and at the same time they're not. This one comes from Sreech93, and they say, some of the best videos to watch seem to be the ones where the narrator has recently been discarded. They're still in the moment. There's raw emotion still there. The reason I say that is because most people watching are recent discards themselves. Then progress onto these videos, I guess mine, where negative emotions have faded and indifference sets in. There's probably a lot of truth into that. I've had a few people tell me that they preferred my earlier videos when I was pissed off, right? And I get it, because we're all looking for validation. We're all looking to be understood. I think everybody on this planet at some point is seeking to be understood, right? Rather than to understand. And when we come across videos like these and someone is just angry or they're sad and you feel like, hey, they're going through that too, I'm not alone, it feels great. But I also, there's a caveat to that where you can be careful not to get addicted to pissed off videos and staying in the moment of misery, because you need to look forward into hope. You have to look for videos at the same time where people have been through this shit, but they have healed and they're sharing their journey, giving you hope so that you could achieve the same things. I mean, we're not all looking for an echo chamber. Maybe an echo chamber is cool for a week or so to get the validation to find, hey, yeah, that's what I went through. That's it, more, give me more. But then, okay, but how long are you gonna do that? Do you wanna get better? Or do you just wanna live in that chaos and just keep consuming the videos that keep you there? Because that's not the way forward. Everything has a process. Everything has a process. And then I read another comment, but this one came a couple of years ago. And this person, this is, who's this? This is Azaf312. And he says, I wake up knowing she's another guy's problem now. And all the turmoil she brings. I can't believe I used to cry my eyes out for her. Peace of mind is invaluable. You know, so here's a guy that probably watched all my earlier videos too, but did the work. For all I know, we work together. I don't recognize that, you know, the crazy YouTube usernames, but he obviously did the work. He stayed in the community, probably joined other communities, probably vented, ranted, posted comments, asked questions, responded, participated, but he moved forward and he's in a place now and he sees some of these videos and he's like, yeah, now I resonate with this one because this one speaks of indifference. This one speaks of peace of mind. This one speaks of winning and success and a new life and new relationships, new goals, new milestones. And he can't believe that there was a time that he used to cry his eyes out over his narcissistic, possibly psychopathic ex. Yeah, I can't believe the shit I used to put myself through. The stuff I put up with, the tears I shed, the sleepless nights, the anxiety, the walking on eggshells. Can you imagine walking on eggshells around your lover? Who the fuck wants to be in a situation like that? Did any of you sign up for that when you got into a relationship? Is that what you signed up for? That the person that you're most intimate with is the person that you're scared of being yourself, you're scared of saying how you feel, you're scared of having a conversation, afraid that maybe you're going to say the wrong thing and they're going to storm out and cheat or whatever? Who signs up for that? That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to be in a relationship with somebody that's your partner, that's your best friend, it's your lover, it's the person you're the most intimate with. You come home and you feel safe. You make plans for the weekend together. You know you're going to be together. You know you're going to have a good time. Not somebody that you're going to go to war with every night. Not somebody that doesn't let you touch them. Not somebody that you think is having an affair. That's not what we signed up for. And yet that's what we were at. And that's what we put up with. That's what we didn't understand for a long time. And the more we tried to give the psychopath, the narcissist, the benefit of the doubt, the worse they got, the more they abused us, the more they took advantage, the more they manipulated, the more they gaslit. But at some point, you do the work. You stand up. You rebuild. You rebuild and you grind. And you put up with the rumination. And then you do the meditation. And then you catch yourself ruminating and you put a stop to it. and you stop it again, and you catch yourself again, and you stop, and you catch yourself again, and you stop it until you develop the skill of noticing when you're going down these rabbit holes of trauma, and you stop them. And you lose interest in going down that rabbit hole again. And then you do it again, and then you catch yourself and you stop it again. And it starts happening automatically. And you're like, well, I took care of that. What else do I need to take care of? Oh, I have all these other buttons that when they're pushed, trigger traumatic responses and anxiety. Okay, let's get to work. Let's rewire those. I teach all this in my coaching program, by the way. If you want more information, there's a link below in the description where we work together through these traumas. We work together. We talk about the situation. We create exit strategies, plans, goals for the future, how to rewire the triggers, how to work with a lot of these traumatic bad memories, because that's what they are. They're bad memories, and we keep thinking about them, and they re-trigger us, and it's kind of like it reframes the trauma in a negative way. But there's other ways to counter that. I had to do all that shit myself. I can teach you how to do it. So there's more information below in the description if you're interested. I also have the link flashing here on the screen. But you do all the work, and you get to the place, and you're like, damn, I've come a long way. And then life tests you, and you're put into a similar situation to see if you've learned, to see if you've grown, to see if those skills are actually real. And if you did your homework, if you actually paid attention in class, if you practiced, then when the situation arises, you know exactly what to do, and all you got to do is execute. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. You just got to do what you've learned. Just execute. And then you pass that test, and you're like, oh shit. So maybe dating this piece of shit served as a lesson, because this situation came up in my life now, and because of the lessons I learned there, I was able to conquer this situation and thus improving the quality of my life. So maybe had I never even crossed paths with this monster, none of this good shit would be happening right now. So that gets me excited. Things like that get me excited. I'm like, look at all the bad shit that has happened. How can I turn that around? How can I make that work for me? That's what I started doing. One of the many things I started doing, but that was the mindset. How can I turn that around? How can I become more of an alchemist and turn that situation, that negative situation, into a positive one? What is it? What can I do? A lot of times I didn't have the answer at the moment. It didn't matter. I knew it would come. I just had to keep working. You work, you grind, you do the push-ups, you hit the gym, you clean your diet out, you make new friends, you talk to people, you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, you break through your comfort zone. You don't give in to the addiction of rumination. You starve it, and it doesn't feel good. But over the long run, it's paradise. See, the self is instant gratification bullshit. Fuck your short-term emotions. Doesn't matter how you feel now. That's gonna pass. So all those little lessons, all those little nuggets that I would get in different areas of my life, I was like, okay, I learned this, I went through this because of that. I read this book because of that. Let me go back through my notes. I will start finding all these little nuggets that I would leave, that I would jot down behind in the past, study them. And I was like, yeah, that's why I went through that. That's how I'm gonna, boom, boom, boom. And I started slowly but surely, 1% better every day, 1% better every day. Things started getting better. Things started getting better, better. Came to a point I never thought about a psychopath again. Yeah. And when you look back, and like, I cannot believe, because if a situation were to happen again, it wouldn't have lasted more than a month. The very first psychopathic red flag that I would have noticed, the very first sign of disrespect, because let me tell you, when you're first dating, both parties are usually on their best behavior, aren't they? You're trying to impress them those first 3 months. You never fight. There's no argument. Everyone's compromise. Happy. Got to be careful. A lot of people will love bomb you at the beginning because they're trying to lock you down. That doesn't necessarily mean they're narcissists. It means they're just trying to impress you and bringing you flowers and taking you to the restaurant. That's what they like to do, to try and impress you. That doesn't make them a narcissist. You have to study the other actions and see how they really are. You know how that stuff works already. And if you don't, I have a lot of videos explaining in detail all the many different red flags and toxic patterns of behaviors of narcissists and psychopaths. So make sure you go down the back catalog. But back to my train of thought that I lost. At the first 90 days of a relationship, they always say the claws come out after 90 days. What does that mean? It means that most people, they put the best foot forward, and then after 90 days, you're dating the same person. You're already kind of more comfortable with them, and then eventually it's like, okay, I can't keep this. I hate to say mask, but it's kind of, you can't keep the facade too long. It's like, I'm a human being too, I go to the bathroom just like you. I get upset just like you. Actually, I don't like that restaurant. I was only going because I know you liked it, but can we go somewhere else? Like different things, you start saying shit, and then you're gonna have your first fight. And if you can get through that first fight and not panic and not think that just because you're having a fight means you're gonna get blocked and cheated on and discarded, then there's hope. There's hope to build something, because everybody's going to have disagreements, couples fight, it's normal. But you have to be careful at the beginning. You have to be careful at the beginning not to let your trauma and your hypervigilance self-sabotage something that potentially could be exactly what you need and what you've wanted all this time. All right? So I hope that makes sense. And you guessed it. You guessed it. You guessed it. This is the end of the video. Not gonna lie. You were right all along. You had a hunch. I know you had a hunch, because I started running out of things to say. And you're right. It is the end of the video. So thanks for watching. My name is Kira. This is PsychopathEXposure. And maybe, just maybe, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.